the Quinn Marr Show.
My next guest is an absolute icon of early YouTube. Back when we were customizing our MySpace profiles, loading songs onto our iPods, and discovering viral videos for the very first time, he gave us one of the most unforgettable characters ever, Kelly. With the legendary video Shoes and countless other sketches, his comedy became part of internet history and something we all grew up quoting. It is my pleasure to welcome to the Quinn Marr Show, Liam Kyle Sullivan. Liam, how's it going?
It's going great, Quinn. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you again for coming on here. I'm so excited to be able to chat with you.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me.
So one thing I always like to do is go back to the beginning of basically my guest's life. And for you, I've been getting conflicting research on this one. Were you born in Norfolk or Boston?
I was born in Boston.
You're born in Boston. Okay. And you grew up in Boston?
I grew up in Norfolk.
Okay, got you. Okay. So growing up in Norfolk for you, like what kind of kid were you? Was it like, what were you into? Sports, video games, science, or was it like entertaining right away?
It was entertaining right away.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved sports. I wish I was better at sports. I loved baseball. I loved, soccer and basketball. Basketball, I loved.
Yeah.
But I could not shoot. I couldn't jump. I did not understand how the game worked.
You loved everything about basketball besides the actual playing part because you couldn't do it.
Yes. Playing was very difficult for me. I do not have the best hand-eye coordination. But, growing up, I grew up in a kind of a rural area. Like on the way to school was a cranberry bog.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a great childhood. I was running around in the woods, sledding in the winters, in the snow, and then ice skating. And then in the summers, I would go swimming. We had a pond right behind us, so I could go swimming there.
That's cool.
And it was wonderful until I turned about, 14 or 15, and then it just became really boring.
Honestly, it's funny you say that. My dad moved when he was like 11 or 12. He moved to a small town, him, his parents, and his brother and sister. And for like that first little bit, it was okay. Then after that, he got so bored. He hated it with a passion. They all still live around that area. He moved like 45 minutes away, closer to like actual cities. Because, he just hated it as a kid. It was so boring to him.
Yeah. Once you hit you're in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like the city gives this energy. And there's lots to do and things to do and people to see. And so when you're out in rural areas, it's great for some people because there's that, quiet and there's nature. But for me, I just needed like, oh my gosh, get me in, in the theater scene, basically.
Right. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have an older sister.
Okay. So were you guys like hanging out at all?
She painted this painting right here.
Oh, wow. That's really nice.
Yeah, she's really good. She's still in Boston.
Oh, really? Okay, see, so you're kind of like my dad. You got out of there, and then they stayed.
Yeah.
So were you guys like hanging out all the time, or because she was older, not really?
We were hanging out. We were really good friends.
Nice.
Growing up, and we still are. We still, we call each other a lot, and we're pretty close.
Yeah. What did your parents do for job-wise when you guys were younger?
My father worked in television as an editor, and he did other things as well. Like he ran the cameras for the newsroom. He bounced around a lot. He was in a TV union, so he did a bunch of different jobs over the years. And he worked. It was at Channel 5. The ABC affiliate in Boston, and he worked there for like 30 years or something. Wow. And my mother was a librarian and a teacher. Early on, she was a teacher. Then, with us, she took a break to raise us, and then she went to become a librarian.
So is that where you feel like you kind of got like the entertaining or like TV, wanting to be on TV kind of thing from your dad?
No, I think because he was working like the news and stuff.
True.
It wasn't as entertainment based, although he would argue it turned more into entertainment as the years went on.
Yeah.
You know, it was all about like, what did it look like in the graphics, and you know, but I think it was just a part of me growing up. I don't know why exactly. I loved being funny, and you know, it was in second grade actually when I did my first play, and I just took to it. You know, it just flowed. I was like, oh, this is easy, and I, you know, memorized the lines and got on stage, and it was not a big deal. There was I don't know why, there was a scene where I had to kiss a girl, but just on the cheek, and people were like, ooh, you know, it was second grade, so they're like, ooh, gross. You have to do that, and I was like, what's the big deal? And I kissed her, and everybody kind of shut up.
Yeah.
Like
you prove them wrong. That's hilarious. That's funny how like things like that, like the core memories you have of something when you're in the second grade can like you can bring back. Do you remember what the production was that you guys put on?
Yeah, it was Hansel and Gretel. That's why I say it was odd, because I had to kiss Gretel.
Yeah, that's weird.
I never kissed my sister.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
Yeah, but it was no big deal.
So then when you're like, so you're doing like the school performances, I'm sure you ended up doing more later on, right?
Yeah, I just kept doing them.
Were you doing anything outside of school for like performing as well, or was it just school?
Yeah, actually, in the town next door, there was a school, a private school called the Academy for the Performing Arts, the Franklin Academy for the Performing Arts, and I took acting classes there when I was a teenager, and that's where I started to learn like a whole like world kind of opened up. We were doing, you know, singing and dancing and Shakespeare and improv and a whole bunch of different things, and that's when I got some real like instruction on how to do it.
Right. And then I'm assuming you were doing like, I mean, obviously, I'm sure you guys were experimenting with like all different types of like performing, like dramatic, comedy, and all of that stuff. But I'm sure it was comedy that you gravitated towards.
Yeah, I definitely like comedy more, and I kind of had a knack for it. You know, if I tried doing something dramatic, it somehow turned out funny.
Yeah.
So I kind of stuck with it, and I really liked imitating my teachers a lot too back then, and drawing cartoons of them, and just, you know, I think maybe that was the beginning of me learning sketch comedy, which is, you know, kind of blowing out a character, and, you know, blowing out the contrast, you know, of like you take one trait and you hammer that, and you just blow it up and make it larger than life.
I've seen a lot of people say that comedy is a lot harder than dramatic. Would you agree with that?
I don't know, because I haven't done a lot of dramatic. I mean, I would say it's the opposite for me. I much prefer doing comedy. Yeah, I don't know if it's if harder would be the word I would use.
Yeah.
It's just it's kind of a different mentality. You're in both cases you're trying to play the reality of a situation, and I think the best comedy is when people are being like super real in a ridiculous situation.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, in that case, I think it could be harder, because
Right.
you know, the proof is like, did I get a laugh? No. Okay, then it sucked.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah. What kind of reaction are you looking for dramatic? Like people not react, kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, are they crying? Great. If you can hear sniffles in the audience, then you did your job.
Right. No, that's
Yeah.
fair. You mentioned about like how you like would imitate your teachers or like draw them, all that kind of stuff, make them into like cartoons. Were you a class clown as well?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I would say I went. It depended on the teacher what I could get away with.
Okay. You
Yeah.
took your spots. That's smart.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well,
I was the opposite.
I was a very adaptable. You know, I was. I like to think of myself as a chameleon. Whatever situation I was in, I would kind of like adapt to it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it depended on the teacher. There were some teachers you just couldn't get away with that stuff.
Fair. See, and I learned the hard way that I would just kind of like be a loudmouth or say things or do things when I wasn't supposed to for any teacher. So it didn't really like I wasn't like studying and thinking like, can I get away with this? Because I guess I might have not cared. I don't know. As long as I was getting a laugh from my classmates, because that was one of the best things being a kid was getting your class to laugh at something you had done.
Oh God, that thunder! Do you remember your first laugh? Like big thunder laugh?
I don't. I just remember just in general that like just group of laughter because of something you did was funny was like just such a great feeling.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
And you obviously still have it now when you're on tour and stuff, right?
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still good. It's still like, wow. Especially if you're trying out new material and it works. When it works, you're like, oh, good.
Right. Yeah. No, that's fair. So sticking with like you acting and stuff as growing up, like when you went to the school as like a teenager, you're doing school performances as well. How does it go from like, or when does it like become serious for you? Because obviously at one point it did. Where was that like transition goes, okay, I know I want to do this and I'm going to do this kind of thing. I got to get serious about it.
It was in college.
Okay. So you went to school, you obviously went to college for performing
No, I went to college to just like I didn't know what I was doing. Honestly, okay. I everybody said, go to college, you'll love it. And I went and I didn't love it. I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. I thought I was kind of going over the same stuff I'd learned in high school, just on a deeper level.
What'd you go for?
Just liberal arts.
Oh, okay.
Like free arts. Yeah. I didn't know what the hell. I'll just go and then figure it out when I'm there. I thought maybe I could be a history major at one point. But there was theater, there were shows I could do. And so I found myself doing those. And eventually I said, well, maybe I should go to a school that is more like acting training. But I didn't like that either. I guess when I moved to LA, I was like, okay, I'm going to really try to do this and make a career out of it. And that's when I found improv and sketch comedy on a level that was like, oh, it's not just improv as like a fun class exercise. It's like for performance. And that was new to me.
Right. So did you drop out of the program you're in?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. How long were you there for before you dropped out?
2.5 years.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you didn't try.
No, I gave it I felt bad. I felt like maybe I was making a terrible decision. And now sometimes I still think maybe I should go back and get a degree, but I don't know. Something holds me back from doing that. Maybe it's because a degree is maybe less valuable now.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair.
What did you what I did?
That's fair. Yeah, no, I agree with you. What did your parents think of you dropping out?
They did not like that at all. Yeah. But they saw that, I had some ability and drive, and that I think helped, and plus I was 20? So it was kind of like, okay, you're a grown up.
I mean, that's a scary move to make, literal move to just decide, hey, I'm just gonna go to LA. I know like a lot of like people like probably back then did it way more than they do now, like without something to bring them there. Like for you went like with a hope, you know what I mean? Like nowadays people go there because they have something from TikTok or because they are on Instagram and blew up. Like something brings them there. You is kind of like a hope and a prayer, right? Yeah,
it was. Well, I mean, I had worked in Boston. I did plays, and I did some stand-in work, and I did some background work. I booked a commercial. So I had started working in Boston, and I was like, okay, I'm getting cast. I'm not sitting in my mother's basement crying because I'm not working.
Yeah.
and thinking, well, if I just move to LA, then
Yeah.
they'll see, like it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I had some credits to my name, which, ended up not really mattering in terms of like impressing anybody in LA, but definitely helped me as an actor be like, okay, I can do this.
Right. So
Yeah.
then where does like Buffy the Vampire Slayer come into this? Because you're in LA, you're doing the improv and stuff. So yeah, where does that come into play?
I think I signed up with Central Casting, which does all the background casting in LA. And I got a call, said, show up at this address to do, you're going to be a fraternity pledge. I was like, great. Okay. What's the show? Buffy the Vampire. Ooh, oh, okay. And I get there and, background work is not, you're not supposed to like talk to anybody. You're supposed to just kind of be like, I am the background. I am not going to make a scene or try to be in the shot and do a little like dance or anything. You're supposed to do your job. So I was very respectful of that. And being on a set was like a dream. But then my entrance, I remember I was standing right next to Sarah Michelle Gellar, and like right next to her, the star of the show.
Wow.
Because I enter and then she enters behind me in the scene. And it was all I could do to not just go, oh my God, you're that. Like,
Yeah.
to turn and gush would be so unprofessional. And I was like, hey, act like a professional. And so that's what I did.
Wow. And well, I'm assuming it was like a day's worth of work?
Yeah, it was just one day.
Nice.
But
Did that, I know.
into my brain.
Pardon?
I remember it so clearly.
I mean, with it being like your first, like you're on set on like a bigger set, right? Than anything you'd been done before?
Well, actually, I had been on a bigger set. So I was a stand-in for Matt Damon on Good Will Hunting.
What?
In Boston, yeah.
No.
So
way.
when they came to Boston to shoot some exterior stuff, like the exterior of Robin Williams' apartment at the end when Matt Damon drives up, and anyway, I got to drive the car, got to do all this fun stuff. I met Matt. Matt and I go way back. No,
yeah, Matt, yeah, we're best friends.
Me and Matt, but yeah, and I met Robin Williams, which was
no way.
Such a delight. Wow. He had this warmth about him. His eyes were so crystal blue, and he was shaking hands with locals in between takes. He just took, like 10 minutes to just go, hey, how's it going? And shake hands with people who were standing around watching them film, in their neighborhood. And
wow.
Yeah, he was really gracious. And I think, gosh, I mean, yeah, that was 1996 or so.
That's interesting because, I got beef with IMDb sometimes because sometimes it doesn't give me the correct information. That's weird that they wouldn't mention that.
Well, I don't know if stand-ins. I mean, I was not the LA stand-in. Maybe they credited. I haven't looked it up, but
right. Hey, that could make sense.
Yeah, I was the local.
Right.
Because that would happen. A film would come in to town, and they'd need some locals for this or that, and so I got lucky on that one.
And that's interesting because, at that time, no one knows Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, right? That's their first thing. But it was cool that they had a big name attached to it, obviously with Robin Williams. But that's so cool that you were part of that, huh?
Oh yeah, it was wild.
Wow. So here I am saying Buffy the Vampire Slayer was your first big thing on set. Nuh-uh. You were bumping elbows with or bumping shoulders with Robin Williams. Yeah, and Matt Damon. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So then you do your episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Then you do an episode of the show Players. Do you remember what your character's name was?
Oh gosh, I remember my line. Somebody help me! Penny's been shot.
You were Bob.
I was Bob. Thank you. Yeah. Bob.
Yeah. So as you're doing all these one episode kind of things, so then there's Jack and Jill, there's Tucker, there's a couple episodes of That's Life. You're building your resume at this time. What's your goal, your end goal as
okay. So my mantra at that time was put yourself out there. And so I was doing shows, live shows. I was doing sketch shows. I was doing plays. I would do anything just to put myself out there and go to any audition, even if I might have been wrong or thought I would never get it. Just go, get out there, put yourself out there. That was my mantra. And so my goal, I guess, was to become a series regular on a television show. Really, that, I was watching, like Seinfeld. I can't remember if Curb came out in that. I think it did in the early 2000s, maybe. Yeah. And so something like that, something like Arrested Development, I was like, I would love to be a series regular on something like that.
Okay, so that's interesting because I've talked to some people who, like, as they were kind of getting into what they wanted to do career-wise, they didn't consume a lot of content, but it sounds like you did to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of, I mean, geez, yeah, I did. I guess. And there were a lot of comedy movies then too.
Yes. And like the early 2000s, like comedy movies are on a different level.
Yeah, they're really good. Anchorman was still one of my favorites of all time. Comedy movies.
I showed my fiance that movie for the first time a couple months ago, and she just knows I got like a dumb sense of humor. Yet she was laughing the whole time.
Oh, it's still funny, and it's actually a feminist story.
Yeah.
With these idiots, Will Ferrell and the gang, like, littering in the park. Oh, just cracks me up. And congratulations on getting engaged, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, the wedding's in 3 weeks today.
Holy nuts! Oh,
yeah.
You have a lot of planning to do.
I know. Yeah, we've been engaged for a little bit now, but 3 weeks today. So yeah, everything's shaping up.
Good. Yeah. I know it can get stressful, but try to enjoy the day.
Yeah, the last like little bit of has been definitely been stressful, but like now we're kind of like, okay, I think we're gonna be all right, and then it's gonna be stressful over again the day of.
Well, yeah, the advice I got was stay with your partner, stay with your spouse, because then you'll have the same memories.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know if take that with a grain of salt. And also day of, it was like, let other people handle shit. Like if somebody comes up to you and says, oh, the flowers aren't here yet, you just say, just handle it.
Yeah.
And let them go, oh, right, they need to enjoy themselves. I'll take some work on myself to, go off and handle the caterer or whatever.
I love that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, what are you going to remember? You having to go fix the centerpieces, or that like you're stressed about this, that, or the other, or like you said, I like the staying together thing, because I did mention to her recently. I'm like, it's gonna go so quick. I keep hearing that, so I'm like, we gotta like stick together. Like if people want to talk to us, they'll come up to us, which obviously they will, right? So yeah, I like that you mentioned that, because I have been reading that, or I've seen it on TikTok actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing was mistakes are happy accidents. They can form really lasting memories. So we got married by a rabbi, and the rabbi messed up our origin story, how we met. Oh. And it became this really funny moment that everybody talked about. The bridesmaid speech, she crushed it because she called it out, and everyone's just dying on the floor. So mistakes can be very happy accidents.
Okay, I like that. I'll make sure to tell her that, because then if she's stressed about anything, I'll remind her mistakes are happy accidents.
Yes.
I love that, Liam. I love that. You're in a movie that was, I think, what's it called? The Convent?
Yeah, The Convent. Yeah, okay, that's where I met a ton of friends.
Really?
I still have to this day, yeah.
Now, that's a type of movie I wouldn't expect you to be in.
No. I got cast because I guess I was kind of funny, and they needed, a little comedy in there with all the darkness. But the whole thing is kind of campy fun. It's a campy fun horror movie. And it's funny in a lot of ways, not just, I'm not the like C-3PO of the bunch.
Yeah. You're not the comic relief. But how was that? I mean, you just said that you still have a bunch of friends from that movie, but like, how was it filming something kind of different than you had done in the past?
It was so fun. Because, we were all in our mid-20s. We were all like, I think Adrienne Barbeau, Coolio was famous, but none of us were really famous. And we were like hungry and eager, and we'd do anything, you know, like, oh, we're getting sprayed with blood, great, like, you know, it didn't matter. And it was all night shoots too, so we had to sleep during the day and go to work at night, and that lended a little, you know, mystery and fun to it, because we're staying up late, kids, like to make this crazy movie. And the first day of first night of shooting actually was a scene with Coolio, where Coolio is like, rest in peace, was like screaming in my face, and I was like, "Welcome to Hollywood."
Yeah. I love that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
There was one show when I was a kid, like my sister and I, she's 3.5 years older than me, so there wasn't a ton that we like would watch together, or
Yeah.
anything like that, or like hang out too much. But one show we did watch a lot together was 8 Simple Rules, which you were in.
Oh, really?
Yes, and you were in. Okay, so you played 2 different characters.
I did.
Okay, because you played. Was it Zach first, and then later on it was Dwayne?
Yes.
Okay, so
Dorky,
how
Dwayne,
did this
McDougal,
happen?
and Zach. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. They liked me. Like, I liked them, and they liked me. So they cast me as Zach one season, and then the next season they brought me back as Dorky, Dwayne, McDougal. And nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
They're like, that's the same guy. It doesn't matter. It was 2 different characters.
The first season when you were Zach, was John Ritter still alive or no?
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you would have been with David Spade and
James Garner.
James Garner,
and
yes.
Katie Seagal, yeah.
Nice. So how was that filming that show? Because obviously it was big.
I loved it.
So you would have hopped on kind of like a little bit later on. You loved it?
I loved it. I loved, you know, you're live. So it's like live theater. And I remember I said my line and I got a giant laugh, and I was so happy, but I was trying to hold it, you know. Just one thing I learned about comedy is, if you get a laugh, just hold, just stay there, let people laugh, and then when it's cresting and falling, then you say your next line, and then you move or anything. You just don't move. You just let the laugh happen. Let them look at you in that moment and just relax. But that's really hard when your heart is pounding and the cameras are rolling, and you're like, I have maybe one take. Like, it moves. A sitcom, you know, you have to. They shoot it all in one day usually.
Wow.
They start at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. This is how it was, and then it'll go till 11 o'clock at night because they have all these scenes changes, and they got to move cameras around and keep the audience at. You know, there's a warm up guy and all, or girl, and so there's, you know, for a bit part that I had like 3 lines on that first show. You know, you got to come in. It's kind of like being to borrow a sports metaphor, it's like a closer in baseball. You know, you only pitch 3 innings. You better bring it, you know, or you're going to get pulled. And so when you only have 3 lines and you know, the stars are working and they want to go home too. They're like, okay, it's 11. We've got to get this. You know, you want to nail it. And I was so happy in that moment that I got a big laugh.
That's awesome. And that goes back to like making your classmates laugh, right? Like a big group.
Yeah, yeah. And the trick in that was, you know, it's not like, yeah, look at me, I'm funny. It was like, play the reality of the situation and, you know, find this character. Who is this guy? And just stay in it and don't break and don't like go, oh, that was fun. You know, like in school you would do that, but
yeah.
How
was working with like Katie Seagal, Kaylee Cuoco, David Spade, all of them? It must have been amazing, no?
It was a dream. It was a dream. Everybody was so professional, so good, so funny. I mean, David Spade coming up, I watched him on Saturday Night Live. Katie Seagal, I watched her in Married with Children. And Kaylee, I remember, oh, she's super smart. I just remember, like, I forget what the interaction was, but she was super smart and super professional. She knew her lines every time. Like, there was never an issue of like, oh, I forgot my line, or with anybody. You know, even James Garner, who was, I don't know how old he was then. He was in the twilight of his career and his life, but he would bring it every time too, and it was a joy to work with them.
I like that you mentioned about how smart you found Kaylee, because I had someone on here maybe about 6-7 months ago that said you got to be smart to play dumb, and obviously her character Bridget was dumb. So would you agree with that then, at least with her?
Of course, yeah. Who is it? Lisa Kudrow?
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Kudrow is, I mean, she played dumb, but she was very smart, very good timing, extremely good. She got cast in Frasier. She was so talented. She got cast in Frasier. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think she got cast in Frasier and had to drop it because she got Friends. Like, really? That's how good she was in those days, you know.
And that's something risky to drop Frasier at the time, right? I mean.
I think Frasier, she was cast as Roz, or she was like a finalist to be Roz.
Right, got you.
And that was more of a supporting role, whereas Friends, she's like, you know, in the ensemble, and it worked out for her, I think.
Yeah, I think she did all right.
Friends was sort of successful, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And the comeback was brilliant.
The reunion, yes.
No, I'm saying her show.
Oh, hers, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, later, I think it was on HBO.
Got you. Yeah.
And she did a show called Web Therapy that I loved. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Lisa Kudrow.
That's awesome. No, she's hilarious. My fiance loves her favorite show of all time.
Romeo and Michelle. Okay.
No, it's okay. One thing I noticed that was kind of like, I mean, at least like documented of the research I've been able to find, is that from 8 Simple Rules to YouTube, there's a 4-year gap. In that 4-year gap, what were you doing?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. YouTube was what, 2006, right?
Yeah.
So 2002 to 2006?
Yeah.
There's nothing on my MBT?
No, not that I know of. Now you got me second guessing myself.
Let me see. I'm going to look it up real quick.
Okay, I was going to say, because I was just looking up at the same time. I swear, maybe I'm at least under actor. So there might be, let me see. So.
Actor, oh yeah.
Yeah, 2002, 8 Simple Rules, 2006, Shoes.
Oh, there's Gilmore Girls.
Oh, there is Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, Gilmore Girls. So that was 2005.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, the way, that's what I'm saying, man. That's why IMDb, I got beef with them sometimes, because the way they order things.
No, so I've got Gilmore Girls 2005, 8 Simple Rules 2004 to 2005, and then 2006 was Shoes.
Okay, yeah, so that was all ordered wrong. Okay, well, anyways, I guess we'll just move on to Shoes anyways. So with Shoes, I swear, dude, I'm going to show you, just because I don't want people to think, wow, this guy's
it's totally fine.
Well, like, it literally will say, you're not going to be able to see, but it says 2000 Gilmore Girls, 2002 8 Simple Rules. Oh, no, it doesn't. It says 405. The show came out in 2002, and then Shoes. Okay, well, maybe I should learn how to read. Anyways, the Shoes, Kelly, is the character you come out with May 5th, 2006. So, obviously, YouTube was brand new. I think he came out in 2005.
Yeah.
So, what is YouTube, like, how does YouTube come into your world? Because obviously, for everyone that doesn't know, it ain't the same thing. It was MySpace, like I'd mentioned off the top. Facebook was only available for college students. So at least for me as a 10-year-old, I didn't know anywhere else to watch videos. So obviously you're a bit older than me. What was it like for you then in 2005, 2006?
I mean, there was E-Bombs World.
What a name, E-Bombs World.
Yeah, that was a website. Back then it was like you had to go to a website to look at individuals' content.
Okay.
And when YouTube came on, it was like, oh, individuals can go there to upload their content. They don't have to build their own website and try to get people to come to it. Because that was the world I was living in. I built a website for myself. I hired someone to do it because I didn't know how. And I would put my short films up there. I called them short films back then because we didn't really call them videos. Like, I was doing a sketch show with a group called Another Showcase Showdown, and they came out of USC Film School, and so they knew how to edit, how to film stuff. we were working on mini DV tapes and these, big Panasonic cameras that you'd have on your shoulder, and lavalier mics or boom mics.
Yep.
Those haven't changed that much. But yeah, so I was like, oh, this is really fun to shoot stuff, and it's pretty good quality. It's not just a camcorder with the date in the corner. And so I started doing those kinds of things on my own, and I learned how to edit in iMovie. One of my first videos, I didn't edit it, but I was in it, called Hard Hitting Questions, and it was me interviewing a dog. And that led me to get into that sketch show, because they're like, oh, okay, he's funny, he can be in our group.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe that video is still up, but
Really?
that's like from 2000 and probably one.
Wow.
Yeah. But I started doing little writing sketches for video instead of for live, And I wrote one called Pleasant Valley Road in Santa Rosa. I wrote Muffins. So Muffins I made before Shoes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
But
so
you uploaded Shoes first.
Yes, because I made Muffins before YouTube was invented. I believe I made it in 2005, like the spring of 2005, and I put it in a live show. So I would come out and do characters and stand up and sing songs and do, weird sketch kind of material. And then I'd say, and watch this video now. And they'd play the video on the screen behind me, and I'd go and change into another outfit. So that's how I envisioned videos in the early days, like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what we did in that sketch show, Another Showcase Showdown. And so when YouTube happened, I was like, oh, this is a great showcase for, I can get, maybe industry people can see my work. I didn't think that it was going to be like TV, where you have a channel and you have a series, or, like you build shows out there, or just post videos all the time. Like that was just so like, I couldn't envision that in those days.
Right. So you created okay, where did the character of Kelly come from before I actually get into the video? Where did Kelly come from?
So Kelly was a lot of different women. She was based, some parts of an ex-girlfriend of mine, my sister, a woman who I had met in a bar, and we were talking about our obsessions, and she said, I'm obsessed with shoes. Like, these shoes cost $300. And little things like that along in my life, we're just kind of sitting in there. And then I was playing with my voice, because that's how I kind of came up with characters a lot, was like, doing accents or voice in the car or something. And I I pretended I had braces, and it kind of made me like pull my lips back like this, and that made me talk like this. And so that's how Kelly started. And that surly, attitude of like a teenager, where everything is either amazing or it's terrible, that I just injected into that. And the first time I played that character, brought that character to a stage, was at another sketch group that I was with, and it didn't make the show. I didn't have her wig, or, I didn't look like her, and it just felt like another Valley Girl sort of sketch. And they're like, yeah, we've seen that, that's old hat. And so it was like a couple of years of just that character kind of kicking around in my head. And it wasn't until I had the song Shoes that it really was like, oh, okay, she's not like a side character, she's the main character, she's the protagonist, she's the one going for it, she's the heroine. And that's when I was like, oh, I've got something.
Now, what I find interesting is there's the one version of Shoes, and then there's a full version of Shoes. So when you uploaded the original, the other part hadn't been created yet, or had it?
I can't honestly remember. I don't think so, but I do remember a friend of mine saying, you should make like a skit to open it, like a music video does, because I was kind of following the model of music videos on MTV, back when MTV played music videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And that gave her, you know, some background. Like you got to see her family and what spawned this behavior.
Right.
So I'm glad my friend said that, because
Yeah.
I didn't even think of it. And he was like, you should do a little, you know, introduce her. I was like, oh yeah.
And obviously there's a massive difference between, so the original version has 7.8 million views as of right now, and the full version has 70 million. So
Yeah.
when you posted the first one, was that something like it slowly went up because it was still early YouTube, or was it like woo, like it went fast?
Well, no, it was like, so here's what happened. Okay, I had my website and I had my videos up there, and information about me and all that, and I would, you know, have that as like a, you know, a shingle. You hang out a shingle for your business. But people, I don't know how, but they found my content, my website, and they would post my videos on YouTube on their own channels.
Okay.
And there were no copyright restrictions back then, so you could do that. And so there were, I don't know how many different shoes out there, and just a couple of them took off, or, you know, 4 or 5 of them had millions of views all on their own. And no one was making any money. And I just thought it was great for me because it was just more exposure. So my original video didn't get the most views. It was the other ones. And I think that answers the question. So I remember the skit was made, but I didn't include it. I don't know why I didn't include. I think I just wanted the music video as itself. Gosh, I don't remember why I didn't put it in. I think it was a time thing. I think I was like, oh, this is 3 minutes versus 4 minutes.
Yeah, and I bet you back then YouTube probably didn't have very much space for a video.
Yeah, it could have been that too.
Right.
Because I remember like compressing video back then. I was learning what I was doing. I was like, oh God, how do you do this? You know, with media encoder and all this stuff. I was like,
I remember when they finally could have HD on videos. Like people would make videos on their channel saying this video is like in the title, be like HD. Like they're all like,
guys, yeah, yes. We're here, we made it.
Yes, yeah. Yes, I remember that. Like I was young, but yeah, those are like the weird little memories I have in my head.
Oh wow, yeah.
So then you do shoes. There isn't, I mean, at least how I see it right now, because right now it says there's shoes. There's not in May. There's not another video till October of 2005. Was there any videos in between that you had deleted, or was it that big of a gap?
It was that big of a gap, I think.
Okay.
Because I was making text message breakup.
That makes sense.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I was like, oh, I got to make another one. But I had written all the songs beforehand, and I'd recorded them beforehand. So I knew, okay, the next one's going to be this. And I was kind of working on the model of when you release an album, at least back then, you release a single with a music video, and then like 6 months later, you release another single with a music video, so that it like, I guess I'm not a music business person, but it seems like you would do that so you could stay in the rotation and get people interested in buying tickets to your tour or buying your album. Back then, people would buy albums.
Right. No. One thing that bugs me so much about like early YouTube and like how there's not enough credit given to you guys is that like the views, like obviously the views are there, but like the subscribers aren't. Like I know you don't continuously post on your YouTube channel, but like you have under 500,000 subscribers. I'm acting like that's not like a lot, but like nowadays people will start their channels and they just go up so fast. Like I feel like there's not enough recognition for you guys, or like obviously Smosh blew up, or like Dave Days was one of my favorite YouTubers back in the day. What the Buck, like all those guys, right?
Yeah.
So like I just that's one thing that bugs me so much, because like you guys, honestly, I would call you guys pioneers of YouTube. You guys were just throwing videos up. Maybe you there was like a little bit more thinking in it, like maybe less fun, more business type ish, where you were actually like thinking and planning. But a lot of the time it was people just throwing videos up and just going, okay, perfect, on to the next, not worrying about algorithms and analytics and whatever. So that's one thing that I hate, that like people don't give you guys enough credit. That bugs me so much.
Oh, Well, thank you.
Yeah, like and that's one of the reasons why I do a podcast like this, because I tell people all the time there's no one that misses being a kid more than me. So be able to talk to people that I would just say like helped shape my childhood is been awesome. So yeah, I that's one thing I always talk about, that it bugs me that people don't appreciate the pioneers of YouTube the way they should.
Oh, thanks. Well, and also I think it was special because it was like you found something on your own. No one was telling you about it. Well, maybe your friends told you about it, but it wasn't like a corporate entity was saying you should watch this.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you might like this if you like that. It was just out there. And kind of like if you, I don't know if you've ever gone in a record store.
Yes, yeah, I love records. Me and my dad go all the time.
Okay. So if you're pawing through records and you find something, you're like, oh, wow, it's more personal to you than, seeing a commercial or, being pumped that feed. They call it a feed, and I'm like, that's what you feed animals.
Yeah, that's actually true. Like I'm kind of a hypocrite because like I love TikTok and stuff, and like that's literally a feed. It's for you page. Like they make the algorithm for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. It was way more organic back then.
Yeah.
Were you watching other YouTubers then too? Like were you watching like Charlie Unicorn or like the viral like Charlie Bit My Finger or Double Rainbow, any of those?
Yeah, because they were like, it was like people would send them to you. They would email.
Yeah, okay.
Remember, I mean, I would get emails with a link and you'd click on it. Now you get a link from somebody and you're like, I'm not clicking on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the last thing you want to do.
So like, what are you doing? But back then, yeah, that's how you shared it. So yeah, I saw a bunch of stuff. And I also was like saying, well, how do I fit in to because a lot of times, people would say, oh, you're a YouTuber or you're a web celebrity. They were trying to figure out the name for what we were. Internet star, influencer wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And so, I was trying to see, how do I fit with these other acts that are out here? Because it could be anything. I remember Daft Hands did this whole thing with their hands to a song with the lyrics written on their arms and their hands and stuff. And that blew up. And I was like, well, I don't do shit like that. But we're in the same category, sort of.
Were you collabing with people back then too? Because I know that ended up being a big thing at one point. It was like, oh, David Hayes is collabing with Sexy Phil, or like What the Buck's collabing with whoever.
I did a little bit, but not that much, actually. I just I think I wanted to do my own stuff. I would invite people to do like a cameo in one of my videos, like Lisa Nova,
yes,
Ask a Ninja, and of course Margaret Cho, but she was, already had a big career. I'm trying to remember who else, but yeah, I didn't do a ton of collabs back then. You just didn't really I didn't think about it.
You also came into it in a different way too. Like you came from acting and performing and all that in YouTube versus like some other people who like tried to start that on you or did start that on YouTube, right? So I feel like you have a different perspective of it.
Yeah, and I think it kind of, those first few years was confusing because I was like, well, this stuff is blowing up, but what about, getting on that series, that I talked, like that was my goal. But this is sort of a series. It's my own making. It was a pull, like I was in, you picture like someone in a river and they're standing on two logs and the logs are drifting apart and both legs are like, which way do I go? It kind of felt that way. But because it was leading to other opportunities and opening doors, I just tried to, shift all the way over and go, okay, now I'm a production company now, basically.
Before that, you have, like we mentioned, Muffins or Pleasant Valley Road, and then Shoes, the full music video. So since you already had Eyes on You from the original one, did that make the incline in views go faster? Or was it still kind of slow and steady? It
still felt slow and steady to me. Yeah. Just compared to today when something can explode. millions and millions in a day, and then it kind of burns out over 2 or 3 days, because the news cycle just spins so fast now. But back then, it just kind of felt like it just kept going. It was like a steady, like it kind of took months really to reach that viral stage where people in the press would be interested in talking to me, or I would get meetings with agents and managers and stuff. Like I remember one of my first meetings with a manager. They were kind of resistant, reluctant, because they didn't really know what I was either, or what this space was.
Yeah.
Was it a flash in the pan? They just didn't know either. And how do you monetize it? Back then, there was no monetizing of it.
Right.
Really.
Like, would you have known? I know you kind of would have like exited YouTube probably before that. Do you know when like money from YouTube would have started? Because it would have been with Google, I think, or would have been before that?
I think when Google bought it
is when,
I think, and they instituted the partner program. And I remember just kind of laughing, being like, wait, you're going to pay? Like, I couldn't believe it was free. Like, I was at the beginning, I was like, this is a free site. Like, I don't have to pay to be on here. I thought I would have to pay them.
And now everyone else after you is starting to get paid from them.
Yeah.
Oh God. One of my favorite things, I know you won the 2008 People's Choice Award, and I love the name of the award because it's such a 2008 name.
Yeah.
And that's user generated video
for
shoes. That's such a we don't know what to call this internet thing yet.
We know it's something, it's big. We got to get ahead of it. Yeah. I love that they did that. And that was kind of early too for them, for them to include that. Yeah.
Were you at the was it an actual award show? Like, were you at it?
No, they had there was a writer's strike that year.
Oh.
So it was Queen Latifah who was the hostess, and it was just her in a studio with cameras, and she would just read the names of people, and then you could see their acceptance speech in a video that they would take. So I made a video, but they didn't air it on ABC. You had to go to the website to watch it.
That's fitting for the award.
Yeah, right. I was kind of bummed because I was like, oh, I could have gotten a tux and did a step and repeat and walked up there and got an award. That would have been like,
Yeah.
But,
but that is still pretty cool. Do you have a physical award or no?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you do? That's cool. That's awesome. That was, what was that? 18 years ago? No, 15?
Yeah, that sounds right.
No,
16,
wow, I can't do
17?
math. Holy moly, 16.
Probably. I can't do math either.
What year is it? 2025. 20. Wow. 18, 17, something like that. Anyways, that's awesome that you still have that thing. And like I said, I love the name of it. I was mentioning like YouTubers back then. And someone like Smosh, who is they've made that comeback with Ian and Anthony together over the last year and a bit, which has been amazing. And I read that you were a writer for them or editor for them.
I was an editor for them.
Okay, so where did that come into play with your career?
So they joined up with a production company that I was already freelancing for as an editor.
Okay.
So when things kind of slowed down for me in the performance side, I just pivoted to editing because I had, been doing it for years for myself. And there were other YouTubers that I edited stuff for as well. And I had started freelancing with this company, and they joined up with them. And I remember, because I remember meeting them, in probably 2006 or 7, just walking around in Santa Monica on the street. They had a meeting somewhere, and I was coming out of a meeting, and we said, "Hey, you're Smosh." And like, "Oh, you're Kelly, your shoes." And we took a selfie together.
No way.
Yeah, and I still have that floating around in a hard drive somewhere. And we look so young. They were like teenagers. And so then when we re-met, I remember them walking in, and I was like, "Hey guys." And I was cutting, so they had just formed that cast
Yeah.
where it was like Shane and Courtney and all them. And so I was cutting the introductory, like, here comes the cast of Smosh.
That's
And
so cool. What a full
I know.
circle.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
love
they were a
that.
dream to work with. They're really good guys. Really good guys.
That's awesome. And that's
Yeah.
nice to know too. Like guys like someone that I'd watched like growing up, you hope is a good person. It's nice to know that's true.
Yeah, and they were very visionary because they could see, oh, we're not going to go to TV. You know, we're not going to get a TV deal. We're going to stay on YouTube. We're going to keep doing this. And I was of the mindset of like, where's my TV deal? Like, you know, like, let's use this to parlay into something else. Whereas they were like, oh, I see what's going on here. Let's stay here. And, you know, that's led them to have, I mean, kind of like a little empire.
Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, like look what they've grown it into. My favorite was always the food battles every year that they had. Those are always the pink sprinkled donut that Ian would always have.
I still like their old Pokemon theme song.
Yes. And that was the video that blew them up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love that.
My son, so I have a son now and he's into Pokemon. And so now I'm learning all the details of Pokemon, whereas back then I wasn't really into it. But I like.
Did you show him that video?
I haven't shown him yet. No.
You should.
I'm trying to keep him off of socials. You know, as a kid, I'm like, he doesn't need to be like, you know, scrolling.
Fair.
On
Yeah.
iPad or whatever.
I honestly like I recently will take small breaks off of social media. Like a couple weeks ago, I think it was. I took a full week off. I deleted all my apps, right? And like you really do notice how much you doom scroll is what people say now. Like you're not really just paying attention. You're just like scrolling just to scroll.
Yeah. And if you ever know, I'm guessing in that week you had those urges, right? To like check. Oh, and you go for your pocket or something like that.
I honestly felt like I was like not part of the world. Like I would actually like ask my fiance things like about the news or sports because I'm a big sports guy. Like there were things I didn't know about. Yeah.
Well, sports you have to check. I mean, well, with baseball you have to check all the time.
Yeah, but like even like because I'm a big hockey guy and it's obviously the off season right now. But like any transactions that were happening or any rumors, I just didn't know about in that week. And I know a week's not a long time, but like when you're maybe addicted might be a bit of a strong term, but like when you're really, really into social media, it felt like a long time.
And it's kind of like, I remember growing up, the news came on at 6 p.m. and it was like a half an hour. Mm-hmm. And then it came on again at 11. And that was it. There was no 24-hour cable news. There was like a newspaper would come on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And that was it. Like, I can't imagine going back to that where I only check the news at 6 o'clock or, you know, check my feed or whatever, my social medias, you know.
I do want to like the idea of that though. Now that you say that, like you go, okay, you know what? All day I've been doing this, I've been productive, blah, blah. Now I'll check to see what's going on in the world. Yeah.
But that urge to check, just a quick check. And then 20 minutes go by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a conditioned thing now. We're all conditioned to do that. And you're right. We should go back to just check once a day or not even.
Yeah.
Once a week.
I'm bad for it. Like I was going to give myself, it was going to be 48 hours. And then I got to the almost 48-hour mark. I was like, you know what? I'll do a week. I'll go Sunday to Sunday. And I'm happy I did. I'll probably do it again. But
it's probably good for your mental health.
100%. I mean, I was reading some of my old, like, I have like a couple like hockey books, like authors that I was reading those over that week. So I think I recommend it.
Reading books is really good for you. Turns out reading is good. Wow.
Yeah. Breaking news.
You heard it here.
For you, I read something about the order of your videos, and I want to read this to you. And I want you to tell me how true this is. It says Sullivan has uploaded and deleted his music videos several times, so it is somewhat unclear exactly when they were released. Do you know what that means?
Yeah. I think text message breakup I had to re-upload for some reason. And I remember asking YouTube, can I just upload it to the same link.
Timeline?
Yeah, well, like the same. Do I have to re-upload a whole new video, or can I just the video that's there? Can I like upload? Just
In its place?
in its place. Thank you. And they said no, you can't do that.
As in, like, it doesn't exist, or like, no, we're not gonna let you.
Like, no, we're gonna. That's I don't remember. It just was a no.
No, yeah.
Yeah, like I wanted to keep the view count and all the comments and all that. I was like, can I just, replace it, swap it? And they're like, no. So I had to re-upload another one.
Oh,
And I had to, then, because I had two of the same thing, I had to make it. I think it was a higher resolution that I wanted, and I've uploaded a higher resolution of shoes too, but it doesn't get anywhere near what the original one got, and so in terms of traffic. So I kind of just forgot about it after that. I was like, okay, well, there it is.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. YouTube now versus YouTube then. If you could snap your fingers in your YouTube channel, start your YouTube channel now versus 2006, would you? And you keep the knowledge of everything that just happened over the past 20 years.
Gosh, no.
No?
No, I wouldn't change a thing, really. I mean, this is the path that I've been on, and it's been wild. It's been up and down and back up again, and I wouldn't be the same person. And I like myself.
Hey, no, that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I like who I am now.
If you did start a YouTube channel now, what would you do to try to make it successful? I know that might be a tough question.
God, I don't know.
Yeah? Because you're not in that space the same way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. That's why I don't post that much anymore, because I've kind of like moved into a different headspace. And I don't want to force stuff. When you make stuff that makes you laugh, or make stuff that you really like, I love this, then it's easy to post, because you're like, I want to share this thing that makes me laugh. And I guess I just haven't been in that mindset recently. I've done some writing for live stuff. Like I did a live solo show about my experience being in viral videos and stuff. And I'm hoping to do that again. And that's been really like back to my roots, back to the basics of getting up in front of people, telling stories, doing stand-up, doing, characters. Like, I think that's where I started, and that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point, I mean, almost 20 years since your first video, was there ever a point where you like resented the character of Kelly and shoes and everything?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because
like,
there was a point,
you didn't want to be known as that anymore?
Well, I wanted to move out of it. Like, I wanted to grow. I didn't want to feel trapped and frozen in this, like, yeah, there was definitely a time when I felt like I was just, reheating the same jokes, the same shtick, same act. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of stuck. And so instead of just, resenting it and feeling, angry about it or something like that, I just stopped.
I mean, that's fair. It's like what you just said, though. Like, you didn't want to do stuff just to do it either. You wanted to actually enjoy what you're doing. So if you're going to keep continuing it, it wouldn't feel genuine to you. And then I think that would reflect in the performance eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. And God bless, I had some great friends. I had a wonderful wife and people around me who were like, hey, you don't have to do this. Like, you don't have to push and push and push yourself into a point where you're just, a mess. And, I had some therapy. I did all this, work on myself to like, hey, why are you so anxious? What's going on? Like, when I was in that time of fame, I guess you call it, my anxiety kept creeping up. And it was that, like, you got to put something else out. You got to do some more. You got to keep going. I think that really kind of spun me out. And yeah, there was definitely a time when I resented it and couldn't process it, couldn't enjoy it, couldn't be grateful. And I'm so glad that I came through that. And I'm not resentful anymore. Like I see it and I'm like, oh my God, what a wonderful experience. Like it's so, fame is nothing you can really prepare yourself for. You can prepare to get on stage, you can prepare for other things, but fame is really different. It's very, for me at least, it was very odd. It was very odd feeling to get recognized and have people like hug you or, you know, want to take your picture and stuff like that. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I thought when you get into the business, when I got into the business and I thought, you know, maybe someday I'll be famous, I didn't know that there was a negative side to it, you know, that it could burn you out or you could get a little like crazy about it. So yeah, I struggled with that for a while.
So then you obviously come out the other side of that. When does like the touring of like talking about shoes and muffins and the YouTube channel, coming out as Kelly and all that, like when do those tours start?
I mean, it was last year, really.
Wow. Okay.
In 2024, a drag queen wrote to me. So between when I put up shoes in 2006, 7, and now, drag performing has exploded. And I mean, it's really RuPaul's Drag Race that I think was the huge part of that, or the main driver of that. And so there's this whole scene, and I was kind of oblivious. And she said, would you come sing shoes again at our nightclub? We're doing a nostalgia night. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not really in that headspace anymore. I don't know if I can walk in heels anymore. And they said, well, you could just come and, you know, you could be terrible. It doesn't matter. We just want to see you again. And so I went, and the response was overwhelming because these were all people now your age, in their 30s or late 20s, or even 40s. And they were like telling me stories about how they saw me as a kid and they saw what they could do. You know, they didn't see, you know, some goofy comedian. They saw someone who was doing drag and was like just doing it and having fun and not trying to make any kind of like, everybody should be in drag. Like there was no messaging about it. It was just like this guy doing a female character. And when they told me their stories about how it helped them feel not so alone, it was so powerful to me because, I mean, I remember being 13 or, you know, 14 or whatever and feeling kind of like a misfit. And I can't imagine what it's like for some kids who, you know, get bullied or singled out for being gay or effeminate or whatever. That's a tough time. And for them to see me and say, hey, that made me feel better. That made me feel not so alone, was just really moving. And I mean, these last couple of years, I met so many people like that. And it's just meant so much to me because, you know, when you do something, like you make a piece of art, you hope people like it. That's just like, you hope people like it. I never thought that it would go to that kind of a level. And it's just been amazing.
That's so cool. I love that's kind of what like brought you back too.
Yeah.
People wanting you to come back was how you came back. That's a really cool return story.
Yeah, and when I got on stage,
that must have felt weird.
It was so weird. It was like a time warp because I hadn't done it in like 10 years or so. And I forgot how to work the microphone. Like I started talking into a dead mic, and then I was like, "Oh, I have to turn it on."
The on button, dude. They're just yelling at you.
They were like, hit the DJ was going, click it on, click it on, click it on. And I'm like, oh. And everyone started laughing. So it just kind of broke the ice of like, you know, here's this guy who we haven't seen in 10 years trying to do that.
Did you have to like buy like a whole new outfit and wig and everything, or did you have that hidden away somewhere?
I had it. Yeah, I still had that stuff.
Is it no way it's the exact same from like the original video?
No, the wig. I bought a couple more wigs for this last year because it was just matted and.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like Hannah Montana. You've upgraded the wigs over the.
Yeah, just like Hannah Montana. And I got a new outfit, and I had to get new shoes because the old ones kind of fell apart. I have them somewhere, but yeah, it was kind of fun to. Like, I remember being really nervous before getting up there. And
were you normally a nerve? Like, would you normally have nerves like that before performing?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like that, though?
Not like that. No. Although this time around, I got so much love from people backstage, too, and so much encouragement that, and the drag queen who reached out to me, Vera Particula, was so sweet and so happy to have me there. So I felt like the support, and I knew if I fell on my face, it would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you do that, and then you go, okay, I got the itch again. Like, I want to do this. Then you decide, hey, I'm going to like do some kind of tour, or if I'm at least just going to do like some open mics. Like, what were the next steps? I just started booking more shows like that. And like I did Edmonton Pride last year and this year, which was wonderful. And I have people asking me on social media, come to Montreal, come to Toronto, come to Chicago, come to New York. And so I'm trying to do that. It's hard to set up like a full like tour, but these like one-offs I can totally do on a weekend. And so, yeah, I'm going to do them as long as people want me. Absolutely. You need to do one in Toronto and I'll be there. All right, cool. Yeah. I'm sure. And I know I ain't the only one. That's for sure. So then while you're like, because like you just said, you don't really have the time right now. It's kind of harder. You're just doing kind of like maybe one-offs or weekends and stuff. What are you doing? Yeah. Like, what's your Monday to Friday like right now in 2025 for Liam Kyle Sullivan? Yeah, I've been an editor for, well, I guess 20 years, I guess you could say. And so now I'm working with the Try Guys. Oh, no way. Yeah. And they are wonderful to work for too. They're a lot like Smosh. They're very chill, down-to-earth people who just kind of want to entertain. Mm-hmm. And they make a ton of stuff. They're putting out stuff all the time. And I actually, I met them at BuzzFeed because I freelanced with BuzzFeed for a little while back when they were with BuzzFeed. I met Keith there. Nice. And then, one of my friends who worked at BuzzFeed started working with them, and they said, we need an editor. And I interviewed, and here I am. So wow. I work with them, and they're wonderful to work with. They really are. I've been lucky, I think, because all the places that I've worked with really good people who, you hear horror stories about Hollywood and all the egos and the jerks and, the predators. It's terrifying, some of the stories. And I think I've been really lucky in that I've been able to work with people who are very good people. That's awesome. Yeah. That means everything, because like if you have a toxic workplace, like it's just something like you're not going to enjoy it ever. Even if it's like a great job, if the people make it bad or whatever, the managers, coworkers, whoever, you're not going to enjoy it. Yeah. And I feel like your work would reflect that. Yeah, you're stressed out all the time. Yeah, exactly. Well, Liam, I got one last question that I ask every guest, and that is, what is one thing you miss most about being a kid? About being a kid? Whew. God, that's a great question. I haven't thought about. Oh, geez. What do I miss about being a kid?
Oh, my mom. My mom. My mother died in 2011.
Wow.
And yeah, that was awful. That was, I mean, she was wonderful. She was a big inspiration to me. The Muffins character is loosely based on her.
Oh, no way.
She loved shoes, you know. Yeah, she was the one who really, you know, said, go take those acting classes. You know, we didn't have a lot of money, but she was like, I'm going to make sure he gets there. Because she could see that, you know, I had an ability and that maybe it might lead to something, and I was passionate about it. And she's like, go, do it. So, yeah, I miss my mom.
That's a great answer. It's probably the best answer I've ever gotten, to be honest. Just
Oh.
it's such a genuine answer, though. Like, and of course I've had like such great guests and great answers, but no, I love that. That's awesome. Liam, man, thank you so much for doing this. This was unbelievable.
Thank you,
It's so cool that almost 20 years later, after me and my cousin watching this video on my family's computer, that I was able to actually sit down and chat with you. So
yeah, it is really cool. I love it. I mean, and the technology now, it's just.
Yeah, this would have taken a full day setup to even get the internet working to be able to get it going. 20 years, the dial up, right? So no,
Yeah.
this was amazing. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me, answer my dumb questions, and yeah, this was awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. They were not dumb questions. They really got me thinking, actually.
Yeah. Well, I hope that means something special next year for the 20th anniversary of Shoes.
I hope so too. I've got to come up with something. Oh,
You do.
I'm doing a Christmas show.
Ooh, okay, yes. Yeah. Please plug anything you got going on.
I'm doing a Christmas show December 20th here in LA at the Elysian. We're still coming up with ideas, but I think it's going to be like just a fun, maybe a sing-along type thing. And some of my friends are going to be in it. And yeah, I don't know exactly what it is yet, but it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, yeah. Again, Liam, thank you so much, and I'd love to get you on again sometime.
Okay. Thanks, Quinn.
Awesome. Thanks, Liam. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
And that was the Quinn Marr Show.